Hi everybody, happy Easter. I am doing one of our jobs down on the Downtown Eastside, and we had some really great donors this time around. So I want to thank them, give them a shout out, and kind of give you guys an idea of what it is we are doing down there and what we're giving out. So as you may or may not know, the VPD and the City of Vancouver did a huge raid down on the Downtown Eastside this week, which left like a lot of people without anything. Like, these are our most vulnerable people. They already have hardly anything as it is. And for some reason, our police go down there and take it all. And this is actually not like just periodically. These sweeps actually happen almost every morning. So this was just a larger scale sweep is all. So they shut off the CCTV so none of us could have any footage, which I think is also like not exactly right. As citizens, we deserve to have that footage recorded. I think if we're going to have CCTV that records us, then we should be able to record them and what they do to us, right? These are citizens of Canada. They are people that are at the most vulnerable, and we have to remember that. Anyways, so thankful to all of my wonderful donors. If you don't know, the work we do is super grassroots. There is no additional cost to what we do. We don't take salaries. We don't take any money from the donations. In fact, when my business has been profitable, I'm just in transition right now, we give back more. So I actually give into the program as well myself, and so does my cousin and her what do we want to call them, private donors. So my cousin does part of the project as well, and she is putting together and shopping for our toiletries kits. So if needed, if she doesn't have enough donors on her side, I will send donations that you guys give me over to her as well. However, that hasn't been needed, so which has been really great, which means that I can use that money for other things. So I'll show you the base minimum what we're doing, which is the toiletry kits. Just bear with me, I'm actually really new to the lives. Okay, here we go. So these are basically what we put together. Again, my cousin does the shopping and the labor of putting this all together. And so we give socks, because this is the number one request we get is socks. So like, if you ever want to donate things, like, just buy a bunch of socks, honestly. It's so important to them. Nobody likes to be wet, right? We give them some gloves, some deodorant, body soap, some chapstick. Being in the elements is hard, right? It's hard on their skin and their body. Hand sanitizer, because of course running fresh water is not readily available to them. Keep in mind that many businesses won't allow them in to use the bathrooms or anything, right? However, there are places down on the Downtown East Side, outreach and so forth, that will allow them to do that. Some wipes, same kind of idea, toothpaste, toothbrush, shampoo and conditioner 2-in-1. I know I'm a hairdresser and normally wouldn't advocate to use the 2-in-1 shampoo and conditioner, but this is, easier for them to take around and pack and stuff like that. And then we give them a poncho. So this is what we consider our base minimum that we like to provide to them. I mean, still trying to figure out like sustenance packages with like Boost and granola bars. It's just very pricey to get that stuff. So sometimes we have that also to give, depending on our donation volume. So yeah, so this is basically the basics. We give this stuff out to them. Every month or two, we're able to go down and do that, provide that. So that's really cool. I love being able to just give. This is really lovely. But when I have excess donations, which when I put a call out, I get so many people. So I just want to give a shout out to all my followers that are so generous. I mean, it always just amazes me how quick these donations come in when I ask for them, or mutual aids or anything that I'm asking for. So I just really wanted to give super shout out to my followers. It's like unbelievable. I feel in such gratitude on the regular that the generosity of you all and the awareness of you all allows me to do this work. So I want to thank you. Today, what I was able to get with the donations that came in previously, as well as today, was these cool things. Usually I get tarps. I did have to get some tarps because they didn't have as many as I had budget for, which is kind of cool. So I did get standard tarps, but these are actually waterproof heavy-duty drop cloths. I thought that was a nicer situation for them because they use it for shelter. They also use it to keep themselves, from the elements, so maybe close to their body, and it's like soft, almost like a blanket. So I thought that was just going to be a lot nicer for them to multi-purpose it. These tarps also come in handy for them because they push around buggies and stuff, so their stuff gets wet. Or alternatively, it also adds a little security because when they're walking around with their buggies, people can steal from them. So if they can just like drape a tarp over it, just becomes a little bit more secure, I figure. And then we always hook them up with some of these elastic cords with hooks, but also known as bungee cords, because this allows them to create a shelter anywhere they are, or to secure the tarps down or whatever. So I really love to give them these bungee cords. I think that they become really, really beneficial to them in the end. So yeah, so this is what we're providing today. Because we're in a pretty extreme weather event, it's really, really raining here. I chose to provide things to keep them dry because I also have a bunch of donations of blankets as well as socks. So we'll be giving those out as well. But I choose what we buy based on what the situation is. And so this is a pretty dire situation where they don't actually have a lot of shelter right now or warmth because it was taken from them. So that to me is the most important, especially that we're having this extreme weather. Now, extreme weather in Vancouver can look like anything. It could be like freezing weather that we're not prepared for, snow we're not prepared for, or it could be torrential downpour. And that's what we're experiencing for the last couple of days, basically since the raid. So I anticipate that we're going to go down there and we're going to have a bunch of people shivering and wet. So at least we can provide them today some warmer clothes to change into, or socks at least, as well as like things to keep them dry, or their things dry, So that to me was the most important thing. We were considering doing our hot chocolate tea and like pop-up coffee shop service today, but that has a lot of logistics involved, and I just really wanted to get down there to get them dry. So we will be putting our volunteer force out in the downtown east side in the coming week or two to do the coffee service as well. So we're still welcoming donations as always. And thank you again. So I'm going to go down there right now and meet up with everybody. And then I will show you what an aftermath of the sweep looks like once I'm down there. All right. Thank you. And I appreciate y'all. And thank you so much. Happy Easter. Okay, so we made it down here in the downtown east side, and we have some new volunteers with us. One sec, I'm going to show you. So we're just getting our van unloaded for our first sort of trip down the street. And we have these lovely ladies who have come as well to join us. Want to say anything?
Send your donation.
Come on down. So, as you know, I talked a bit earlier about why we come down here, especially today, as we had this mass sweep come down through here this week and take everybody's things. Now, let's just talk a bit about that. So organizations like mine are grassroots. So donors give me money and or donations directly for me to bring down here. We don't take any government subsidies or anything like that, but there is a ton of money that comes on down here from the government, taxpayers' money, that is used as it should. This is not me like saying that we should not provide for our least advantaged. But there was millions and millions of dollars spent on providing things like what we give down here through other organizations that taxpayers pay for. And then the taxpayers this week paid overtime to police from the VPD, as well as overtime to city workers to come down here and take the things that we provide. Make that make sense to me. I have really no idea how this makes any sense. We're just doing this weird cyclical thing with our tax money that actually doesn't do a lot. You know, what we do provides safety for somebody for 24 to 48 hours, most likely. So somebody just wrote $7,400 per day per person. Very little reaches the people that need it. It's true. There is a lot of money being spent on wages, a lot of money being spent on fancy balls that people come to give their money. A lot of t-shirt swag, mailers, all that stuff. And I'm not saying that stuff isn't needed to get donations, but the amount of money that is spent there can sure do a lot of good for treatment programs and actual housing for these people. But I just don't understand why we're spending money to then take it away from them. You know, because the BPD did not come down here with their regular team that was scheduled that day. They called in reinforcements and they all got paid overtime. The same thing goes with the city workers. And I just want to talk a bit about the city workers. And if you are one, I'd really be interested in talking to you, and it would definitely be private. I would keep you anonymous. But these people showed up for work that day thinking that they were going to do their regular job, but then they were told that they were doing this. I don't believe that the city would have given them an option to opt out because they don't believe in doing this. These people were forced to do something that they might ethically not agree with, that might actually harm them on a mental health level themselves for doing what they were doing. But their jobs were at risk for not doing it. And that's what we're asking of our city workers. I've spoken to some city workers already, and they actually have so much conflict. And I spoke to one this week that will remain anonymous, and she is rethinking her job there because of this sweep. And this is what we're putting through to our people, to our citizens. It's not right. There's nothing right about this, and none of it makes sense. We don't have any treatment programs for them. It is a huge barrier to get it. 6 to 12 months to get into treatment, and it costs like anywhere from $10,000 or more. So like who's homeless can afford that? They can't. We have no housing. So where are we sweeping them to, you know? Our Downtown Eastside at our DTES, you know, is down here on the regular, and they said the other day that only 8 people were able to get secured beds that night, and they were just back here again. So what did it do? We spent a lot of money just for us to be back here today, taking our donors' money to replenish what was taken. It just literally makes no sense. Park rangers are going through the same crisis. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm sure it is. And if there is something to raise awareness there, I would love to. Just send me a DM and I'll look into it. Anyways, we're about to go down the street. We've got our first wagons. Also, I just want to give a shout out to the lady that gave us our wagon. That's the best thing ever, man. We got a wagon and it was so good. Oh, thank you. Okay, park rangers are going through the same crisis, being asked to clean up. Right, got it. So the park rangers that are asked to clean up these encampments in the parks are going through the same mental health issues and struggles because of what they are being asked to in order to keep their jobs. So this is just whack. It's not, all of it is just not making sense. As you can see, it's raining hard on us right now. And thankfully, I have this beautiful North Face jacket that keeps me warm and dry. And so I'm grateful for my, privilege in this world, that I'm not homeless and I have a roof over my head and this jacket. So we're going to go help out, and I'm going to show you how little this sweep actually did. I'll be back. Okay, so we're down here, we're handing some stuff out, and, it's not as busy as usual because of the weather,
Do you like stuff?
But I just want to show you how little these sweeps actually do. We still have all of the people congregated and homeless still. They're all still homeless. Everybody is still homeless. That sweep did nothing. They're still here. We're still handing out things. Nothing happened. They're still here.
And they're still getting wet. It's still raining. It's raining and they're wet and they need things.
Like, we're dripping wet right now. My hands are turning into prunes, and we've been outside in the elements for like 20 minutes only. But anyways, I wanted to introduce you to one of my favorite accounts. This is my first time meeting her. Are you cool with this? Okay. We've been following each other on Instagram for a while, and she actually, her friend volunteered and brought her, surprisingly. So for anybody who is like an ally, this woman is doing the work. She's not pretending to be perfect at it, and that's what I like about her. So she vulnerably posts on her Instagram about being an ally. So I heavily ask that you maybe follow her account if you are really honestly wanting to do the work, because Jen will be honest with you, and she is welcome to the conversation. So this is Jen Newstead.
Hey everybody.
So Jen, tell me why you're so passionate about allyship.
Because everybody deserves an opportunity to have dignity and understand that there's so much we're just not aware of. This is Sunday, it's Easter, it's pissing out, and there are folks that continually have things taken away from them simply because they are marginalized. They haven't done anything. And so we've just got to start shifting and showing up for humanity and being a human and really looking within to realize, like, it's so easy to think that we're helping and we're not even scratching the surface. So Amber has been an incredible voice on my journey, and I encourage you to just step outside of all of your comfort and realize that it is comfort and that you will be okay when you do it, and just go and spend some time in community where it's not where you normally are. You're going to be in awe of what is happening, and we need to be doing more. We need to be present, we need to be paying attention, and we need to be shifting everything that's happening, because it's just a continuum. We're here, the donations are coming in, and then the very next day the police and the city are taking it all away. For what? It's a horrific cycle. So please just show up. Gratitude to you, Amber. We've got work to do, my friends. It's a choice.
It is a choice. We, like Jen said, we chose to come down here today because
have a good day.
This is, I don't know, I don't want to speak for her, but for me it feels good for me. And it's not because this is a good experience, it's because it's giving my soul something to do that is. So anyways, I'm sure you could probably hear as soon as we stop, we get a lot of people coming by for the donations. So as well, I don't know if she wants me to, but I'm going to shout Jen out. She actually provided a lot of the donations money that we spent today as well. So she's giving her time and her money. So
that's my job. That's the role. I'm a support person. I give what I can, and I do it daily, just like you can.
Yeah, because she was also down here with our DTES yesterday or the day before, Thursday, and because they went into overdrive too. They're doing amazing stuff, so follow that content too at our DTES. Amazing grassroots effort, just like ours. Every dollar is spent. So her mandate for the week was 50 tenths a day. So she's been giving out about 50 tenths per day. So again, we've been giving out. Oh no, you need socks. Give him some socks. So let me just show you. I'm not going to show his face because it's not fair.
And then there's some socks in there as well. I'll grab one for you too. Yep.
He has no shoes and he has no socks.
No problem. Have a good day, guys.
And by the way, he's about 20 years old. He's a child. That was a child that had no shoes and no socks, okay?
No problem. Have a good day.
I wish we could have. Anyways, there's so many things I wish when I see things like that. I just wish I could pull boots out of thin air. Hi!
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter! Anyways, so just so you know, as you can see, the individuals that live down here are still here. So Ken Sims in the City of Vancouver did nothing. The suite that we paid for did nothing. It did nothing for these humans that live down here. It did nothing for the citizens that live down here. You know, and I hear a lot of things, and I'm just going to address some of them. So I hear things like, but Amber, they don't want the housing. That is not true. They want housing. They just don't want the housing that's provided. And I just want to urge y'all, if you're going to talk about the fact that they don't want the housing, I want you to just change the way you think about it and ask yourself instead, why don't they want the housing? Because if the housing was adequate and gave them dignity, they would prefer to sleep under a roof. I'm just going to, put it out there. But let me tell you what the answers are, because I ask these individuals every time I come down here about their housing situation. And what I hear is, anyways, I paused or something in my life. But some of the responses I get from them is, first of all, the girls really don't feel safe in the social housing. They end up getting raped and or trafficked. The drug dealers end up in there as well. Somehow they have a lot of mandates of who can enter these places after curfew. But the drug dealers and the sex traffickers and pimps, they end up in there. The other thing is it's not actually safe. It's safer for many of them to sleep on the street, because when they sleep in the shelters or in the SROs, a lot of the time they wake up being beaten, raped, or all their stuff has been stolen. So it's not exactly the safest thing. So again, I just urge you to use a little bit of your common sense here and critical thinking skills. Instead of judging them for not wanting what's available, maybe we need to judge the people who decide what is available for them instead of talking to them about what they actually need, Because the fact of the matter is if our efforts were working at a government level and at the large people's level, we would not see this growth. The growth that we're seeing on the Downtown Eastside is unbelievable. So if it was working and these things were adequate, we would not have this problem anymore. So I urge you guys to look into Finland. They're doing amazing with the Housing First initiative, and they've almost completely gotten rid of their homelessness issue in their main cities. And as a result, they have way more people entering treatment programs. So I urge you to just Google that and look into it and see what we could be doing instead. So anyways, again, they're down here still, so here we are. Nothing changed. Anyways, I'm going to sign off now so I can interact with the people. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching and for your support and spreading the awareness.
You have any bungee cord? Yep.